What is up guys, Gary here from Triage. Today we're going to do some push-ups, okay? We're going to do some regressions and some progressions. So obviously when people think of the push-up, they think your basic straight body push-up, no load added or anything like that, hands under the shoulders, and that's fine, okay? So that's kind of your garden variety push-up, but we also have multiple regressions, okay? So we want to make these accessible to as many people as possible. So if you're starting the gym and you've kind of never been able to do a push-up before, when I first started the gym I couldn't do any push-ups, and I started with these simple regressions. So the simplest version that you can kind of start with is basically to just focus on getting your positioning. So hands are roughly under my shoulders. I've got a nice straight body, so what I'm thinking about here is I'm squeezing my bum muscles, squeezing my glutes, I'm squeezing my abs, keeping my core nice and tight. Then what I'm going to do is basically cross my feet or keep them straight, that's not too important. Lower yourself down nice and slowly, pause, and back up, okay? So when you're first learning the exercise, it's advisable to kind of take it slow, feel out the movement, get used to what you're doing, and then you can start to build up the tempo and build up the reps that you're doing and adding load, etc. So once you've kind of nailed that, basically what you can move on to then is trying to move to a more kind of full push-up. So there can be intermediate options between. So if you don't want to go straight to, a full straight army military style push-up, what you can do is kind of adopt this quadruped position. So your knees are off the ground, so you're taking a bit more of the load, but you're still not taking the full amount of load that you'd be taking when you're straight. So once you are prepared for that, then you're on to this variation, and that's just your typical push-up. Okay, so body nice and straight, lower the body down nice and slowly, and that's your standard push-up. There are other variations within this position, so that for me was just like a normal grip or a normal hand positioning underneath the shoulders. You can also go to narrow grip, so what some people like to do is take like a diamond. So I'm going to get my hands like that, diamond position, down again nice and slowly, and back up. Okay, so that's your kind of diamond position. Then basically moving on to a more advanced option, because there's different levels. Obviously with the kind of plain old military style push-up, one of the ways that you can progress that is by adding loads. So if you have resistance bands at home, lay it out in your hands like that, hands up and over, lay it across the center of your shoulder blades, and then what you're going to do is you're going to think like you're in a chest press position. Come down, lay your hands, whatever position you normally use, down nice and slowly, and back up. You could have a friend apply resistance on your back by pushing you down, or you could put on a backpack with some books in there to again add load, or if you do have access to some weight plates, pop those in your back. So plenty of progression options there. But if you just have body weight available, one of the ways that you can start to progress is with an archer variation, okay? So an archer, if you think about what an archer does, they're going to have their arms like that, and that's basically what we're going to do with this push-up variation. So arms starting slightly wider, but this time, instead of going straight down, I'm going to go to one side. So down to one side and back up. So that time, my elbow was still kind of bent. The way you make this more difficult is to actually start to get that arm out straighter, and basically what it turns into is more or less a one-arm push-up, or closer to that style of variation. So this time, hand out there, I'm going to keep this arm pointing out like that. So it's pointing out that way. Take very little load on that arm, and up. Another way that you can do that is by holding an object that's out next to you, so whether it be the side of the couch, the fireplace, something that's above, a dumbbell, they're all appropriate variations. So once you get to that level, if you can do sets of 8 to 12 there, like you're really flying it, and it would be good to try and find some way to progress, including adding load through a resistance band or weight plates if you have them available. Of course, you could just do more reps. So plenty of options there, guys. If you have any more questions, pop them down below.